Hey guys, I'm IzDaisho and I'm here bringing you some magic, and today I'm going to be playing match 2, and this is going to be game 1 of match 2 of my latest draft. And I keep a really suspect hand here. I'm not sure if I should have kept this one. I knew my opponent was on black-red, and I kept a hand with 5 lands, Armory Guard, and Rubbleback Rhino. So those two cards are pretty good against his deck because they're really good at blocking, and he's going to have a hard time removing them. He can't remove the Armory Guard with anything but a launch party, pretty much. Because I mean, I guess he can have a Dreadbore or something like that. But anyway, the fact that I didn't have anything to counteract him if he had a fast start would be terrible. So when he leads off with a Cackler, I'm really scared. Fortunately for me, he doesn't have a 2 or a 3, and I managed to draw a Dryad Militant to trade off with it, and then I'm going to be able to play the Armory Guard before he even plays another creature. And all I had to do was take 2 damage for it, so that was definitely really good for me. He's going to play his Giant, and I'm just going to lay down a Rubbleback Rhino. And unfortunately, though, I have been drawing lands other than that one Dryad Militant, so all I've got in hand is 3 planes. So yeah, not really too useful for me right there, just a bunch of useless cards. So what he's gonna have to make a decision now is what he wants to do. If he wants to attack and just trade for my Rubbleback Rhino, and then I still have this Armory Guard that he has to deal with, and he's got nothing really. Or if he's gonna want to try and make a play on it. So what he decides to do instead is play a Stab Wound on the Armory Guard, and rather than just waiting and just having me take 2 every turn, and just trying to win the game in 9 turns, he decides that he wants to attack here. I'm not sure which one's right, but this attack basically forces me to play something else, or just lose very quickly to that Bloodfray Giant. But fortunately for me, I managed to draw a 2/2, and I can play this Keening Apparition, and now I can just easily double block and trade my Rhino for that Giant, which is exactly what I need to do. I mean, it's pretty crazy that Bloodfray Giant is a 4-drop that demands answering by a 5-drop plus another card, but I mean, it's not really the best 5-drop. Or Rubbleback Rhino isn't. But anyway, he's going to Skull Rend me here, which I don't really mind too much. The 2 damage is annoying, but it doesn't make much of a difference because I had 2 planes in hand that I wasn't going to use. So I'm just going to double block here, and he wanted to make sure I didn't have any tricks in hand, because if I had like a Common Bond or something like that, that would just destroy him. And now I am just going to start the process of slowly chipping away at his life total. So, I mean, I got into the late game, which is where I want to be against a Rakdos deck, but I am in not great shape because, I mean, I'm not in great shape right now because I can't really win the game quickly. And now he's going to play a Lobber Crew, and I mean, if his draws are pretty good for the rest of the game, then he's just going to be able to run over me. But luckily, I stopped my case of drawing too many lands, and he's going to drop a Thrill Kill Assassin, unleash it, and then pass the turn back. So I can still attack, and he can just block, and then I can only really do 2 damage to him because he's just going to block the Selesnya Sentry. But what I draw here is pretty great for me. I get a Knightly Valor, and I'm just going to toss it on the Selesnya Sentry, so that's awesome because I get to add 2 power to the Sentry, which makes it able to get through anything he's got, and I also get a Knight, so I can start attacking with the Knight and the Keening Apparition next turn. So he's just going to, and then get in for 2 past that Lobber Crew. So he's just going to ping me at the end of turn, and then decide to attack. And I've got a Swift Justice in hand, so now that I think about it, this probably wasn't the right play, just because it gave him options, really. So what I decided to do is just block with my Selesnya Sentry and then Swift Justice. So he's got a launch party, and he could have launch partied my his Lobber Crew at my Selesnya Sentry, leaving his Thrill Kill Assassin alive. But if I had just Swift Justice my Keening Apparition, then he would have had to use the launch party to sacrifice. He would have had to sacrifice the Thrill Kill Assassin because it was just going to die anyway. But it doesn't really make much of a difference because he's just going to end up doing the same thing anyway, which is sacrificing his Thrill Kill Assassin to my Lobber Crew. But I mean, it wasn't the perfect play, but it wasn't terrible either. So I have another pretty nice draw here. I mean, I've just been drawing gold turn after turn, and I'm going to be able to play a Centaur Healer, gain 3 life, which is just really much needed at this point in the game. I mean, he's got a Lobber Crew, and he's slowly pinging me to death. And he's got, well, I mean, that Thrill Kill Assassin was just a creature that I couldn't really answer well. So not only does the Centaur Healer mean that I can attack, or I can actually get in for 4 every turn past that Lobber Crew, but it also gained me some life, which was pretty sweet. So now I take him down to 7 here. He's going to obviously ping me end of turn, and I'm not sure what happens here, but he has to really come up with an answer to my board position if he wants to be able to win. But he's just going to ping me and then Skull Rend me again. So my opponent was running 2 Skull Rends in his deck, which I'm not really a fan of. But basically what happened right here is he Skull Rended me, and then I just immediately cast Eyes in the Skies. And I didn't think about it at all. If I had actually thought half a second longer, I would have made a Bird and a Knight, and then I would have had him on lethal this turn. So that was just a stupid error. I mean, I just wasn't counting and wasn't paying attention. But it's something that I need to work on. Be aware of the situation, and be aware that when the second I draw the Eyes in the Skies, I should say, oh, well, if he doesn't do anything, then I can just Eyes in the Skies end of turn, make a Bird and a Knight, and then kill him. But I didn't think of that, and I gave him an extra draw step. I don't know if there's anything or any combination of cards that could have prevented me from winning at this point, but, I mean, I guess a Mizium Mortars would have just blown me out of the water here. But it was still a good situation for me. So, anyway, hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and have a wonderful day.